Previously, after defeating the Demon King, Blade lost his powers and joined the Heroes Academy, but there he meets Maria. She couldn't control her powers. So Blade told her to release her sealed power to learn how to control it, but there it reveals that she had a split personality named Mao, and on top of that, she was the daughter of the Demon King whom Blade had defeated, but Maria resented the Demon King because she thought her father had abandoned her and her human mother. But then she discovered a secret message from her father and realized how much her father had loved her and her mother, but there she found out the Demon King died fighting the hero. But seeing this message, only strong life force could survive between Maria and Mao, but Maria didn't let Mao die and chose to coexist in the same body. So, as the story progresses, Blade was having lunch with Ku, Ernest, and Sophie around town, when they noticed a wagon stuck at the entrance gate, and the one pulling the wagon was Dion. An old friend and a companion of Blade, but Blade barely stopped her from revealing his identity as a hero. Ernest then asked how they knew each other, but Dion was clumsy at lying. So Blade quickly changes the subject to her giant wagon that was stuck, so then Ku excitingly helped out, and the one who ordered that wagon with a giant thing was Gilgamesh. Then all of a sudden he assigned Dion as the next instructor of the elite class, so the first thing she did was to put out indestructible iron blocks. Dion then used her spear and pierced through every block. Her attacks were powerful enough that metal started to melt. Dion then introduced herself as the Demon Lancer. And there Ernest was the first to realize that Dion is the commander of the top-notch cavalry knights. She had even fought with the great hero against the Demon King. But Ernest was curious to know how she knew Blade, which was pretty odd. Then in the ladies' bath, Blade was washing up Ku. And on the Santa Claire and Jessica were giving a pretty nice clean up to Dion, so Jessica took this chance to make her spill the beans on her connection with Blade, but Dion raises her guard. So Jessica massages her even more to butter her up, and hearing her moans, Blade barges in, thinking something strange was going on. So Ernest gets shy and scolds Blade for entering in women's bath, so Blade told her he was here to bath Ku. Then Jessica tells Ernest to relax because Blade is still a child on the inside. And to prove it, Jessica opened her towel to show her naked body, but Blade's little buddy down there had no reaction at all, so Dion remembers how Blade was in his childhood. Blade tried to stop her, but Mao holds Blade from interfering on his childhood story. Then Blade hoops in the bath with all the girls, and Dion tells them that she met Blade when he was 5 years old. At that time he was so wild that he mistook her for a horse and tried to eat her, but after that she trained herself and joined the heroes party. But the hero did not allow her to join in the final showdown against the Demon King, but Blade was worried someone might notice he's the hero. So Sophie tells him that his secret is safe because others think the hero is an old man, but Sophie was happy that only she knows Blade's secret identity. But their Blade told her that Mao just found out his secret, which made Sophie jealous. Then on the next day, while shopping around the town, Blade and Ernest saw a rarest bird, Simurgh. Blade was sure it won't attack anyone, but the bird proved him wrong and attacked a nearby wagon, so Ernest thought of defending the town, but Blade told her to drop that idea. They were after that wagon, and Dion had also brought a wagon of something, so they gets to Gil to ask about his mischief, and he told them he stole their baby egg. So Blade and Ernest thought Gil got a screw loose. But he stole the egg because the Simurgh needed a high place to hatch their eggs under the light of sunset. But this pair of Simurgh were inexperienced and chose the wrong place for their nest where the egg won't hatch, so Gil wanted to help them out. But he dumps the responsibility on the elite class, and tomorrow is the day for the egg to hatch, so Ernest and Blade called out to the elite class to keep the egg away from Simurgh until sunset. And keep the parents busy until the egg is hatched at the tower's peak. Their plan was ready and the entire town had been evacuated ahead of time, so Leo took the lead and Jessica followed him behind. But Leo couldn't even lay a finger on the bird, so Jessica tried her luck, but that bird's skin was thick like metal, so they had to run for their lives. But their other kids binds another Simurgh, but it flew off with the buildings that were holding it off. But there comes the second one, and Maria lets out Mao. She used a thunder spell and Ernest used her demon flames, and just like that, the day finally comes to an end. But then the lift malfunctioned and stopped midway, and to make matters worse, Mama Bird was also heading this way, so the gang told Blade to get the egg and leave the bird to them, which brought back memories of his previous comrades who seems to be dead. But Blade chins up because this time he won't lose anyone, so he runs upwards to the tower, but he didn't have the power to hold out, so their Dion comes and lets him ride on her. They get to the egg, but it weighs a ton, making it difficult to run upwards holding it. Dion was ordered by Gil not to interfere, but Dion ignored Gil's orders and puts the egg to its place. But then Simurgh was making a comeback, so this time Gil decided to hold off that Simurgh until the egg hatches. Their siren tells them that a Simurgh had once saved Gil's life, so he wanted to return the favor, but that Smurgh was pissed off even more and threw out Gil like a pebble. So Sophie used her artificial hero power to stop time for 5 seconds, and Blade used his dragon arts on that birdie, but that power just squeezed him out and their hard work paid off and the egg hatched. They were twin Simurgh babies and they started to stare at Blade, so Sophie tells them they are imprinting Blade as their papa, and Ernest comes running because Blade got even more kids. Then several days later babies were growing up quite nicely while other Simurgh were watching happily their kids grow up nicely with Blade. And with that episode 6 comes to an end, but please tell me in the comments section if you want to watch more of this anime, so take care.